Dear students, this is the third lesson for the flipped classroom. Please ensure that you have with you Handout 2 and your writing materials before you continue with the video. Before we begin, let us do a simple recap on some of the things we learned last lesson. Using Handout 2, answer the two questions shown on the screen. You may now want to pause the video to give you some time to answer the questions. Well done if you have completed your attempts in answering these questions. We will be discussing the answers when we come to class, so be prepared to share your responses with your peers. For the past two lessons of the flipped classroom, we have been trying to understand what tropical rainforests are by looking at its characteristics and various adaptations plants possess to survive in the hot and wet tropical equatorial climate. For this lesson, we are going to explore what is happening to forests all over the world. Some of you may have done an exercise on the structure of rainforests, and others may have even gone out to look at various adaptations plants have to survive in the equatorial climate. For this lesson, we are going to explore what is happening to forests all over the world and why do we need to save rainforests. Humans have played an important role in changing the environment, and the forest is no exception. Using Handout 2, think about as many things you can that humans can do to a forest. You have 45 seconds. Let me use this timer to time you. Are you ready? The time starts now. Now time is up. How many possibilities have you come up with? And what was the first thing that you wrote? Many of you may have written that humans cut or burn trees down, while some of you may have written that humans have polluted the forest by dumping our waste irresponsibly. Well, these are all good responses. Let's see if any of you have any other responses when we come to class. Now our rainforests are rapidly vanishing due to various human activities. Large areas in South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia are losing more than 4 million acres of forests from year 2000 to 2005. This is shown by the dark red areas on the map. Now let us zoom in to areas nearer to Singapore, to the island of Borneo in Indonesia, which is shown by the red circle on your right. Now look at the amount of forest removed in the last 50 years or so. You can notice a pattern in which the forests are being removed. What is the pattern you can see, and why do you think there is such a pattern? Take some time to think about it and write your response on Handout 2. You may pause the video now to give you some time to write down your response. Now, Singapore has also undergone large amounts of deforestation ever since Sir Stamford Raffles landed in 1819. There were more than 80% forest cover in Singapore before Raffles landed. But in 2006, a census showed that only 3% of forest cover remained in Singapore. As you can see, the forests remaining are found in the Central Catchment Nature Reserve, the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and the Botanic Gardens. Now, what do you think caused such a dramatic decrease in forest area in both Borneo, Singapore, and all around the world. Take some time to think about some reasons why humans clear forests. The 3 pictures provided below should give you some clues on why forests are removed. You can come up with as many reasons as you can on handout 2, and we will do a sharing with your friends in your groups when we come to class. You may now pause the video so that you can write down your responses on handout 2. So what is actually happening to our forests? Well, the trees are being cut down and removed from a forested area, and this is a process known as deforestation. Now, the mode of deforestation doesn't matter. It can be through chainsaws, axes, or even fire. As long as trees are removed from an area, it is known as deforestation. Now, since we know what is happening to the rainforests and that rainforests are rapidly vanishing around the world, we must ask ourselves, why are rainforests so precious to us, and why is there a need for us to save them? Now, the answer is simple. Because forests provide important ecological and economic services to humans. In other words, rainforests provide environmental and financial benefits for humans, and not saving rainforests would eventually affect humans negatively. Now I will quickly talk about 3 ecological benefits and 2 economic benefits we can derive from forests. We'll start with the ecological benefits first. Firstly, forests can provide clean water for humans to consume. This is a picture taken in McRitchie Reservoir, and we can see that the water in the reservoir is very clean. Have you ever wondered where all the water comes from? Now, if you are curious to find out, the water stored from the reservoir actually comes from the forested area which surrounds it, the Central Catchment Reserve. The large forested area also collects rainwater which is stored in 2 other reservoirs in Upper Seletar and Upper Pierce. Now you may ask this question, how can trees in the forest actually result cleaner water, and why is it that forests acts as a water catchment area? Think about this question and we shall explore this further in class. The second ecological benefit that forests provide is that it is known as the green lungs of the earth because it takes in greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, releases oxygen in a process known as photosynthesis. Now, chlorophyll found in leaves creates a chemical reaction between carbon dioxide and water to create oxygen. Forests are essential in creating clean air for us to breathe through the process of photosynthesis, and the Amazon forest actually provides 20% of the world's oxygen. The last ecological benefit is that forests provide shelter for a large variety of animals, and you have seen many of them in previous lessons. Many of these animals rely on the rainforest for both shelter and for food. However, do you know that rainforests also provide shelter for humans as well? You may be surprised to find out that many tribes live in the rainforest and rely on resources on the forest for survival. One tribe is the Huli in Papua New Guinea, which survives by hunting forest animals and gathering fruits and wild vegetables found in the forest. Now just look at the elaborate headdresses that they are wearing. It is actually made up of natural flowers and bird feathers which are gathered or hunted within the rainforest itself. So forests actually act as a habitat for both animals and human beings. Next, I'm going to quickly talk about the economic benefits which makes protecting forests from being destroyed at a large scale so important. Firstly, trees and plants in the forest provide valuable timber for various items which humans use. The pictures shows you a list of items which are derived from timber wood in the forest. Scientists and doctors have also found out that certain plants found in the rainforest have medicinal values, and its natural properties ensures that there are no side effects compared to drugs that we use today. Plants such as the Madagascar periwinkle have been seen as a potential cure to cancer, and there are many other plants which also have different medicinal properties and values. Now this is the end of lesson 3 of the flipped classroom. Please prepare these materials shown on the slides for the lesson in class. Thank you for attention, and we'll see you in class.